Hey good people, how you doing? David Taub here, co-creator of nextlevelguitar.com. Hope all's going well, and I hope your guitar journey is going famously. And today we're continuing on with our series on lead guitar, soloing and improvisation techniques using blues rock techniques and devices, and modal playing and pentatonic playing and all kinds of great stuff. I hope you're enjoying this series. And be sure to check out the last few videos in this series where we went over the progression. We're playing in the key of E minor. And in the last lessons, we talked about the progression and how to determine what to try, what to play over it. We're playing over what relates to all the chords, not treating each one as a separate event. We're just playing the same set of scales and modes over each one. And I teach you how to determine that, and we're looking at relationships between chords and scales, right? So be sure to check that out. And today what I'll do is I'll show you a bunch of minor pentatonic licks, minor pentatonic and blues that work real well over this progression. Oh, and if you want to see a lot of these scales drawn out, click on that link below. I'll send you a free video lesson and a free ebook where I have a lot of the scales drawn out and a lot of other killer written lessons and chord charts. So check that out. Just click on that link, follow the screens. I'll send you a free video lesson, free ebook from Next Level Guitar. So we're in the key of E minor, and like I talked about in a previous lesson, 99 times out of 100, if you're soloing in minor key, you could use minor pentatonic and blues. There's a few exceptions, like if there's a major 5 chord, there's a note that might rub, but for the most part, when you're in a minor key, you could use minor pentatonic and blues 99% of the time. So we're in the key of E minor, so let's use E minor pentatonic and blues. And in the previous lesson, I showed you 3 different shapes and expanded shapes that will get you over the whole neck. So if you didn't see that, go back and watch that lesson and learn those scale shapes, because we're going to be building our licks based off of those scales. And this is a great jam to use minor pentatonic and blues because it gives it that real rock kind of dark minor bluesy feel. And the jam is wide open, like we talked about. You could use so much stuff, not just minor pentatonic and blues. We're also I'm doing lessons in this series coming up where we're going to be using E Dorian over these set of chord changes, as well as E Aeolian, because it's so wide open, because it's power chord based. Remember, in power chords, there's only 2 notes, like a G power chord. Turn off the delay. Like a G power chord is just a G note, a root, and a fifth, a D note. Play the octave too if you want. There's no third in that chord, right? There's no B or B flat, which would make it minor or major. So because there's less notes in the chord, it's only a 5th chord. Generally, you have more soloing options when you're relating to, when you're soloing over everything, or even that individual chord. There's not as many notes that will give you a rub. Just like if you have a progression that's a 1 chord vamp or 2 chords or just a couple of chords, it's very wide open, especially if they're basic chords. So the less chords and less notes in the chords, the more wide open the jam, the more things you could try of them, which gives you all kinds of different sounds. You can get different emotions and different feelings across. So try them and experiment, and it's infinite. It's awesome. I love it, right? We could do so much. So let's get into some of the things that I was doing when I was soloing, where I was throwing minor pentatonic in, because I was mixing minor pentatonic and blues, Aeolian, Dorian modes, and whatnot. So some cool licks I was playing were things like I was hitting that low E string a lot, because you could hit that, right? And you could do some really cool things, and you have that string ringing in the background. Notice how I begin and end that lick with that open low E string. So what I'm doing is I'm in this basic minor pentatonic open position, which we went over in a previous lesson. So take that A note and really bend and vibrato it. That's the 2nd fret on the G string. Open G, and then you could hammer onto that E note. That's a great landing note because, again, we're in the key of E, right? You trill it. And that's just open D to 2nd fret E. And then I just went right up the scale. You could even go bend that 3rd fret, that G note down a little bit, just nastiness. And then end it, get back to that E note. So I have bend down, open E, 2nd fret on the D string. Cool lick. Licks like that, we are hammering and pulling to the open strings are great, especially because we have that droning high E string. 3rd fret, high E string, pull off to open. 3rd fret, B string, pull off, open. Do the same thing, 2nd fret on the A string, and 2nd fret on the G string, pulling the A note off to the open G. Then we're back on the E note and open D string. Right, cool thing, but let that E note breathe out there. I was playing that a lot. That's a really cool lick, letting it breathe over this sliding with our. I use the 2nd finger up to the 4th fret on the G string, and 1st finger on that 3rd fret B string, and then hitting that open high E string, then the low E string, then the bend, right up the skip, right? You can even hit them both together. It's like a double stop. Okay, let's get into another position here. Those are cool low notes with a lot of bite, and we're playing on the in this expanded position that I showed you earlier in the other lesson. Just take the low E and the A string, and we're doing the 5th fret to the 7th fret of the low E and 5th to 7th of the A string, and we're mixing those up. And slide with that 1st finger on the A string. That's a cool lick. Sliding back. You can even, you have a blue note, because we're in the E pentatonic minor. Our blue note is that B flat. So you could do, see how I grab that? Adds a little bit of color. Don't hang on it, just use it almost as passing. And again, I'm hovering on that E note, right? Another cool lick is take the scale up. And then when you get, it's a cool double stop when you get up to that 1st finger on the G note. I'm pulling off A to G, 10th to 8th fret, and then landing on the E note again. That E note, I'm driving that point home. E minor pentatonic. Do a alternate pick that. Down, up, down, pull off, up, down, pull off, up. So that lick sounds like this. And then you can end it bending up to that B note, which is cool because that's in an E chord. Right? See, I just connected those 2 licks. All right, and then when you're up here, you got this Minor Pentatoinic Blues at the 12th fret. All kinds of cool things you could do there. Low E string. Cool bend is bend the B up to E, 15th fret of the B string. And then high E. Low E string. And then send that bend up into the heaven, a whole step. And then you have your blue note bend. Love that bend on the G string, 14th fret. Bending it to the blue note. Right, there's our blue note again. Jerk the chain. Just a quick bend and release. And then pull off to the 12th fret. Double stops I was doing before. Right? 1st finger on B and the G string, 12th fret. And then 14th fret. 14th fret, B and G strings. Those are cool double stops. Throw them in. So I just connected that with the bend. So there's just so much you could do. Another cool double stop I like is first finger on the B and G string 12th frets, and then play both of those, but just hammer to the G string on the 14th. That's a cool one too. So there's a boatload of licks in all those positions, and vary them a little bit. And come up with your own and try them over the track. In fact, let's do that right now. So I'll keep stopping and tell you what I'm doing. Track's on. I'm gonna kick on a little delay. And here's the first kind of licks we were starting with. Slowly bend it. See, I ended on the E on the D string. See, I did that. Do it again. Oh, here's that slide. Right? High E string, low E string. Now, low E string. Remember some of those other, there's that, using that expanded minor pentatonic, expanded 2 shape. There's that blue note. There's that hammer and pull lick. There's that double stop. There's that B string, 15th fret, low E string, high E string, 15th fret, followed by low E string. There's those double stops with the first and third finger. Repeat the lick. This is all minor pentatonic. Slide out, and then you go back to that first one. Low E string. High B string. I meant high E string. Right down the scale with the blue note. All right, there's just a few basic things you could do to get you going, right? And take these licks, vary them a little bit, right? Add in other notes of those scales I was showing you, try to connect them. And then practice them over the jam track, which I will put at the end of this video lesson. I hope you enjoy it. Check out the other ones using the same jam, but we're going to add to Minor Pentatonic and Blues, we're going to add E Dorian, which is the same as D major, and we're also going to add E Aeolian, which is G major. Because it's so wide open, let's explore all the options, right? So check those lessons out. Use these scales as building blocks, but the main thing is use this lesson as a template and kind of pick apart the chords if your ear is not ready to guide you to those notes. Remember, it's the chords that give you the roadmap. I can't say that enough. So have fun with that. Be sure to go to our website, nextlevelguitar.com. There's over 1,150 video lessons, written lessons, jam tracks. It's absolutely packed. There's a 3-day free pass on the homepage right now. 3 free days, all access. Check it out. And don't forget, click on that link below to get the free video lesson and free ebook that I wrote. I'll send it to you for free from Next Level Guitar. Thanks so much for tuning in. Tune in to the next segment on this in this series, and we're going to do lots more to come. You rock. Check out the jam track.